Hello everyone, welcome back to Primo ICT Lectures channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about the operating system, including the definition of operating system, examples of operating system, the types of operating system, and the functions of operating system. Are you a computer science, IT or ICT trainer, learner? This video is yours. Stay together with us from the beginning of the video to the end and get so much more about operating systems. Let's jump right in. Let's start by defining an operating system. An operating system is a software or a program that controls the operation of hardware and the software. Remember that hardware means the physical components of a computer like keyboard, like RAM and so on, whereas software or programs means set of instructions which are executed by a computer processor and tell the computer what to do. So an operating system controls everything within a computer. This means that a computer without operating system can't work. It's like a vehicle without fuel. So an operating system is a large and a powerful program that controls everything within a computer. So what are the examples of operating system? Operating systems are classified into many categories. Some operating systems are Microsoft Windows. So Microsoft Windows operating systems are a graphical user interface operating systems. This means that these operating systems offer the icons or small pictures which facilitate the communication between a computer and a computer user. We can talk about some examples of Windows operating system. For example, we have Windows 1.0, which was developed in 1985. This one was the first version of operating system Windows, which was created. We can talk about also Windows XP as an operating system or just graphical user operating system, which was developed in 2001. And this version became popular in the market. The following Windows operating system was Windows 7. Windows 7 was developed in 2009 and it was also an improvement of Windows XP. Some people are familiar with this Windows 7 operating system because it was used by many people the world over. After Windows 7, we can talk about Windows 10, which was developed in 2015. Windows 10 are currently in use, and it was a version which is very different from the previous Windows operating system version because of its speed. Windows 10 has speed, and it is also flexible, and it is compatible with many electronic devices the world over. We can talk about Windows 11, which was also developed in 2021. The latest version of this Windows 11 has also some features including security. Remember that one of the functions of operating system that we will talk about later is also security, because a computer accommodates or just stores information which must be protected against unauthorized access. So Windows 11 has security features and some functionality updates. So the next Windows operating system that we can talk about right now in this video is Windows Server. So what is a server? A server in computer science should be a computer or just a hardware, or it should be a software. But the main target of server is to accept the request from other machines or just local machines or clients, and the server will process the request from clients and respond those requests. So Windows Server is an example of operating system which is installed into a server, and it will accept the request from clients and gives some response. So a distribution of Windows designed to manage server infrastructure. It's a kind of operating system, Windows operating system, which is designed to manage servers. Let's talk about another category of operating systems, namely known as command line interface. We have been talking about graphical user interface operating systems, but now let's talk about command line interface operating systems. What is the main difference between graphical user interface operating systems and command line interface operating systems? As I have told you, graphical user interface operating systems offer menus, offer icons to facilitate the communication between a device and the user, whereas command line interface operating systems do not provide icons for interaction, but instead the user has to type the commands, and the commands will be executed and the actions will be performed. We can say that command line interface operating systems are for expert users, because the users have to type the commands for each action and the commands will be executed. So among these operating systems, we can talk about Linux. Linux is a command line interface operating system which has some commands which will be executed through bash. Bash means burn against shell. This means that Linux offers the shells where the user will type in the commands, and the commands will be executed to perform the actions. The second command line interface operating system is Mac OS. So this operating system offers a terminal where the commands will be typed and the commands will be executed to perform the actions. We can say that Mac OS is like Unix operating system that we'll talk about later. So we have some Windows operating systems which are totally different from the Windows I have talked about at the beginning of this video, because here we are emphasizing on command line interface operating system. So Windows operating systems have what we call a command prompt known as CMD. This feature should be used to interact with the computer by using some commands. It means that the user will open CMD and interact with the computer without clicking on icons or menu, but instead by typing the commands, and the commands will be executed to perform some actions. So it has power shells for the system interaction. We have also MC-DOS, which was an area operating system known as a command line interface. So there are some MC-DOS commands that we will talk about in upcoming videos. I will create some MC-DOS commands videos to get so much know about them. The following command line interface operating system is Unix. Unix also is a command line interface operating system which has also some shells like Bash being widely used. So when you want to use Unix, you can type some commands through the shells and the commands will be executed to perform some actions. I can remind you that these operating systems, which are command line interface, are more secured and they are used most of the time in networking. And these operating systems are not easy for everyone. They are difficult. They are more difficult compared to Windows operating systems because the users have to type the commands. Let's talk about mobile operating systems. What is a mobile operating system? A mobile operating system is a kind of operating system which is installed and run on mobile devices like smartphones, tablet, and so on. So we have some examples of operating systems, including Android operating system. An Android operating system is an open source operating system. As I have told you, an operating system is a program. An operating system is a software. So it's an open source operating system which was created or just developed by Google. Open source means that the codes are available to the users so that they should modify the codes. The second mobile operating system in this video is iOS. iOS operating system is a proprietary mobile operating system which was developed by Apple. So proprietary means the codes are hidden from other users. So they can't be modified by other users, but instead by iPhone users. So this operating system is used in Apple's devices like iPhones or iPads. So we have another mobile operating system like Harmony OS, which is also a proprietary operating system which was developed by Huawei. Proprietary, as I have told you, means that the codes are not available to everyone. And the fourth mobile operating system in this video is KIO operating system. It's a kind of a mobile operating system designed for smartphones, but here the cheapest smartphones. We have the fifth mobile operating system, which is called Tizen. It is an open source operating system that runs smart TVs, smartwatches, smartphones, but this Tizen operating system was developed by Samsung. So in this video, let's talk about also some discontinued or less common mobile operating system. So we have, for example, BlackBerry operating system. Many users are familiar with this operating system because there were some BlackBerry smartphones which were using this operating system, but nowadays it's less common. So it's a kind of proprietary operating system owned by BlackBerry. We have also Windows Phone. This mobile operating system is less common today, but it was used in some smartphones. We have another mobile operating system which is known as Symbian OS. This is the oldest operating system which was developed by Nokia brand, and it was widely used in Nokia phones. We can talk about web operating system which was developed by Palm, and it was used by Palm in its devices and some HP devices. But remember that we are not talking about operating systems for laptops. We are emphasizing on operating systems that run smartphones or tablets. We can talk about the Palm operating system. It was also an operating system which is not in use today, or just which is less common in these days, but it was created by Palm Pilot to run PDAs, or personal digital assistant devices, and some smartphones. Now let's discuss about some types of operating systems. We can categorize or classify operating systems based on different criteria. So these are the types of operating systems basing on functionality, or just on the functions or just jobs performed by devices which have some operating system. For example, we have batch operating systems. A batch is like a group of tasks. This operating system groups the jobs into batches or groups, and the batches will be executed. When this operating system is used, the user doesn't interact with the system. The user has to submit the job, and the operating system performs the jobs in sequences or just in groups. We can talk about time sharing or multitasking of operating system. Multitasking means many tasks. So time sharing allows multiple users to access a single computer simultaneously. It means that many tasks will be assigned to many users, and they will be performed at the same time. So we can talk about the real-time operating system, and this is an operating system for the systems which provide the timings at the precise time. So these operating systems are currently installed into robot systems, for example. And we can talk about the distributed operating systems, and these operating systems run on the computers on a network. So this operating system manages multiple independent computers on a computer network, allowing them to work together as a single unified system. So a computer network, remember that it's a set of computers which are sharing. So it's a kind of operating system which is shared over many independent computers along a computer network. We have also network operating system. This operating system manages and shares resources across a computer network. Let's talk about functions of operating system. So we have many functions, but I have chosen some for you. For example, the first function of operating system is the user interface. An operating system facilitates the communication between a user and a computer by providing a command line interface or graphical user interface where the users will interact with the computer. So it's a user interface between a computer and the user. The second function is the device management. So what does it mean? A computer has a lot of external devices that should be externally connected to it, which are known as peripheral devices. So we can say some of them like keyboards, printers, scanners, and so on. So when a peripheral device is connected to a computer, the operating system has to control and manage the operations of that device which is connected to the computer. So operating system is responsible to devices which are connected to the computer system. The following operating system function is file management. So what is a file? Remember that computers process data into meaningful data or information. So the files is like a set of information which is stored into the computer. So file management, remember that the files, when are created, they have some names. So the operating system will be responsible to name the files, to open the files, to rename the files, to open the files, and so on. File management to understand a lot of things like opening, deletion, and so on. Those tasks are performed by operating system. And the following operating system function is memory management. So a computer has a working memory which is known as RAM or random access memory, and every computer program must be given the space from the RAM to run. So operating system will assign RAM, just will assign the space from the RAM to the programs so that they should be executed. So operating system allocates and manages the computer's RAM, ensuring that each program has the memory it needs for running. Another function of operating system is process management. So what is a process? A process is a program in execution. In other words, a process is a program which is running. So OS coordinates the execution of multiple processes by managing communication between them. We can talk about also security as a function of operating system, because information which is stored into a computer or some computer devices must be protected against unauthorized access. In other words, you can protect your computer against the people who want to use it without your consent. So operating system offers security by creating username and passwords, or just by creating or just by putting into actions the measures for user authentication and access. We can talk about also error detection and handling. When the computer is in use, some errors should occur. So the operating system will be the one to detect the errors and sometimes handle the bugs or just the errors. Thank you for being together with me in this video. If you find it helpful, don't forget to subscribe. I need your support by watching my videos, by liking my videos, by subscribing to this Primo ICT Lectures channel. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, so that you will get notification each time I upload a new video. And it's a good practice and supporting for me to share this video to the rest of the world to get this knowledge as you have gotten it from the videos. So let's stop by here. We will continue next time. May God bless you all.